Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, August 26th. On the visible satellite imagery this morning, skies mostly clear, some low-lying smoke, not too much across central Idaho mountains from our recent fires. You see convective activity exiting portions of eastern Idaho going into western Wyoming. A little bit of lightning there earlier this morning. Otherwise, most areas should be in the clear. Impact map for today, some of those showers exiting the eastern northeastern part of the Great Basin up here as well as down in eastern Utah. Tuesday, we start seeing some good wind impacts from a cold front dropping down from the north. Gusty winds over 30 miles per hour along with lowering humidity, and some of the effects of that front sag further south and east with that wind and humidity pushing further eastwards. Looking at lightning past 24 hours, did have a couple of strikes across Utah and into the eastern Great Basin. A lot of these were either on the wetter side or came with higher humidity along with those much cooler temperatures that we've had. Look at our Great Basin fire activity. New fire starts in the red, recent fires in the yellow. Initial attack fairly light, only 7 fires for about 21 acres. Still had about almost 17,000 acres of large fire growth. Great Basin remains in a PL5. Precipitation the past 7 days. You can see the wetness really confined to the eastern portion of the Great Basin. Some of those green to dark green areas are about a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall. The yellows are over 2 inches. We had some of those heavy downpours and flash flooding in portions of southwest Utah down into the Arizona Strip. You see the percent of normal precipitation on the right-hand side. Our ERC point map reflects some of that wetness. A lot of the ERCs dropped down below the 50th percentile. You see those green circles through here, and even dropped off quite a bit other parts of the Great Basin, mostly due to the higher humidity, both daytime and nighttime. The least drop-off that we've had in our ERCs remains in our central Idaho mountains, unfortunately, where most of our large incidents are currently ongoing, as well as portions of Wyoming. So the weather map for this afternoon, you can see the trough low pressure starting to exit to the east. Some of that moisture and showers moving out of the area. Drier air mass filtering through, but temperature still a little cooler than normal. You can see on the 7-day fire potential, we have no areas that are really critically dry. The driest we find is further down south, and you can see how moist we've been in the eastern Great Basin into the green. Today, on the left, no significant wind concerns. Humidities into the mid 20% range in the central Idaho mountains, and down into the mid-teens. You head further south into Nevada, even some upper single digits down in the Vegas area, but drying out even in southeastern Utah, getting down into the teens. Now, our smoke production, this is on the left, is this morning. By this afternoon, some of our fires should start to produce some activity. We've typically seen that when the humidity gets down towards 25%, so that is our smoke prediction for this afternoon. Now, for Tuesday, you can see this unseasonably deep low pressure area over Alberta, Canada, and the tight packing of these height lines indicates very strong winds. There'll be cooler temperatures and a bit of a increasing humidity. You can tell the tail of the cold front here in this darkish area, but there will be strong winds. We have high risk for wind across much of our central Idaho mountains area where our large fires are ongoing, along with adjacent areas of Montana. Now, looking at the wind here, you see these orange to purple shades. These are gusts of 30-35 miles per hour. Humidity still down into the low to mid-20s up there, and that typically correlates with a good burn period. Much drier further south. And then on Wednesday, that system starts moving out. We still have a good northwest gradient, and that should align with the Snake River Plain to produce some gusty winds towards the central part of the Snake River Plain. We'll be watching that. You can see those winds up there coinciding with humidities in the mid-teens. Also some gusty winds along and east of the Wasatch area, but fuels there are quite a bit more moist, so we're not issuing high risk there. 3-day precipitation totals, just some of that stuff in the first 24 hours exiting eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. And then on Thursday, big broad area of high pressure building in. This tannish to reddish shade indicates a very dry air mass. But also light winds, which you typically get under high pressure. You can see a lot more of our PSAs that where fine fuels dominate quickly turning into the brown, and we continue that on Friday. The models are starting to pull up some monsoonal moisture, and the models differ how much moisture gets in. We may be shaving this off a little bit, but right now this is what we'll look on the 7-day, and then we go into the weekend. Some of this moisture may get further north, Probably, if there is thunderstorm activity, the bases will be very high. We probably would not have much wet rain reaching the ground, so these areas stay in the brown. We could actually get more lightning ignitions, but models are differing, so we'll have to see how that situation resolves itself. And by Sunday, kind of a chaotic pattern. The high pressure ridge breaks down. We start seeing little ripples of low pressure approaching, maybe a bit more wind, a bit more shower activity in northern eastern areas. But the bottom line is a lot more uncertainty in the forecast as we go into this coming weekend. 7-day precip totals, some of the stuff here in Utah and northeast Nevada is with that weekend system. It keeps the deepest monsoonal moisture to our south. And the 8 to 14-day outlook shows a strong signal of above normal probabilities across just about the entire Great Basin, especially the further north you go. Also drier than normal from our traditional monsoon trajectory. Monsoonal moisture actually shifts a lot further eastwards into Texas and into maybe parts of northeastern New Mexico. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.